Welcome back everyone to another video. Today I've got something a little different for you. So recently I've purchased the FV4005 and also the mouse, but today we're just going to be viewing the FV4005. Now, as you guys know, my favorite tank in the game is the KV2, but I feel like this tank is starting to take over a little bit as its bigger brother, the bigger, more powerful version of it. So I'm going to show you a mediocre game, and this is the easiest damage I have ever gotten in my entire, in any game. This is, I'm not even kidding you, this has been the easiest damage I have ever gotten in any game, and you'll see why. So I'm going to explain a little bit why I go to where I go and what I do. So here, we spawn on this map here on the north side, and I always go to this little building here. It is a little risky playing, especially since this tank is so massive, so I do have to be extremely careful. However, this position does pay off. I've learned to play it a little bit, and just tried it a couple times, seeing what works and what doesn't. And from what I found, it's a pretty good position. You could shoot pretty much mostly in the south, and you could shoot any heavy that likes to peek over here in the center, as this enemy chieftain here is about to find out very shortly. So I am going to aim the shot. In case if you're wondering, I do have rammer, and I have the experimental turbo slash, I don't know what the other part is. I think it's IRM, I believe. Something like that. And then I also have improved aiming for better accuracy. You can change the equipment a little around, like you can change improved aiming to gun laying drive or something like that. I don't know, I tried gun laying drive, but I feel like having a turbo in this, if I had to choose a regular piece of equipment, it probably would be turbo, to be honest, because this thing's reverse speed is horrible at a whopping 8 kilometers an hour backwards. That is not very good. So I can get it up to 12 with the turbo, and with the experimental turbo it goes about 11, so not a huge difference, but 8 to 11, that definitely helps. So yeah, like I said, this tank is just so much fun. I absolutely love it. We did bully that poor chieftain for a high roll for 1800, and we're about to do the same thing to the enemy 4005, and we do finish him off for our first kill. And within 2 shots, guys, it only takes 2 shots to do over 3,000 damage. If I was to do 2 high rolls, that would be close to 4,000 already. That is absolutely insane. And I feel with the firepower of this tank, it makes it balanced because it has no armor. Its gun handling isn't the greatest, obviously. It's kind of maneuverable. It's not great. And it doesn't have a fully rotatable turret, so its flexibility is kind of iffy. But yeah, I could have aimed a little longer there. That was my fault for missing. But anyway, I love this tank. It reminds me of just a bigger KV2. That's all it reminds me of. You can still one-shot most tanks at its tier, and just in general in the game. Like tier 9s, you're pretty much going to one-shot and below. Tier 10s you can if you high roll, but things like mouses, E100s, Type 5s, those are really the only 3 tanks that you can't actually completely do a full health. So I am going to aim here. He starts to turn. I take the shot. We do finish him off for our second kill, and that's almost 1,000 damage in 1 shot. Like, I know that's something like the KV2 can do, but still, this tank, if you play it correctly, if you support your allies, and if you aim your shots as best as you can, and you choose correct positioning, and you peek when you're supposed to, like, this tank is just an absolute menace. I love it, and that's one of the reasons I love the KV2. That's all this tank reminds me of. Nice little snapshot there too into the enemy Death Star, and like I said, 4.7k just like that. Like, all we've done is just aimed and fired. That's it. We haven't had to worry about trading. We haven't had to worry about. I mean, I did worry about positioning a little bit, but just being careful from the enemy Death Stars and stuff. But that's about it. Like this was the easiest match I've ever had, and it's not necessarily the tank, I don't think, because I've had really easy games too in other tanks and other non-derp tanks, which is totally fine. But like, this has been the easiest 6K ever. Easiest. There's no question in my mind. We finish off the stir for 1,000. Just like that, we have 5.8 and 4 kills. Like, with almost little effort, other than aiming, if you want to consider that effort, like, I've never had an easier game, guys. I've had a little higher damage battles than this, but it's been a little more difficult where I've had to actually, like, be careful about trading, so that's fine. But yeah, like, I just thought I'd show you this because it was really interesting. I do snapshot it, it misses, no big deal, that's expected. But yeah, look at that, 15-1, very easy, very quick game. And now, I'm going to show you the highest damage battle I've ever had. Now, this next battle, it may be kind of mad because I had between a 12,000 and a 13,000 damage potential game, and then I blew it at the end, and you guys will see that here. So, as you guys know, my maximum damage is 8k, and that's in the E3. This is a little over that. It's not by much, but it is something that I was very happy about. So we're platooning with two good friends of mine, Troy and Dratz. Dratz is in the Foch, and Troy's in his 183, which he got from the auction recently. So congrats to him for that. So and of all places, guys, it was this map. As you guys know, I don't know if I've ever explained this before, but I absolutely do not like this map. This map and Empire's Border and what's the newer map they added? Safe Haven. Those three maps, I just can't stand because it's only meant for very specific tanks. I mean, this map you can play a little differently with certain tanks, but there's just not much flexibility around the whole map. It's just very awkward to play a little bit, and it's a little annoying and frustrating. But yeah, that's why I just simply don't like the maps. Like a light tank here, like you can go north, it's fine. But like you just can't. I don't know. It's just hard to do things on this map, I feel. And I know that doesn't necessarily make it a bad map, but the positionings for heavies, you have to have good gun depression, you have to have a good turret. For heavies, for example, light tanks, you can kind of move around, but you're not going to reliably get consistent damage unless if the enemy is stupid and makes like a really dumb push or something like that. Mediums, you just play hill. That's all you have to do is just peek hill. That's it. I mean, it's pretty boring map, to be honest. But yeah, to get this damage that I did was very surprising. And so there we go. There's the baby chieftain. I was gonna snap it, but I wanted to take my time and aim. And that patience pays off. Like a lot of times in this tank, especially. I found where if I snapshot it and it misses and it bounces, I end up regretting it because moments later there'll be another tank that has an even easier shot, and I'll have a 25. I have a 24-second reload here. There's the enemy chieftain, pays off. Get a nice shot into him for 1,700, guys. Oh, that feels so good just watching that. That's the whole point of this tank. You don't play it because it's good. You don't play. I mean, it's not really a good tank. But you don't play it because it's good. You don't play it because of the armor. You play it because of that massive alpha gun. That is the only reason anyone should ever grind this tank. The only reason. And so I do get a nice lucky shot there. Shell guides perfectly in the side. We do finish off that T-54 heavy. And that leads us to our first kill. And like I said, over 3k in just 2 shots. It's very, very easy. I do plan on trying to 3-mark this tank. I feel like it's the one tier 10 I can. I just have to be really consistent and be really careful of how I trade and be really careful with my shots. And other than that, I bet you I could probably 3-mark this. I'm hoping to get at least 2 marks, which should happen. I'm close to 1-marking it already, and I've only played, I think, like 50 games in it. So I do take a shot there just to snap it because I am spotted. That was just a hope shot. That was a prayer shot. Does miss, unfortunately, but not a huge deal. By the way, guys, I do have some other news too that's completely irrelevant. I did get a webcam like literally a couple of minutes ago, and I'll have to change the way I record because I just use the basic Xbox game bar to record, and I'm gonna have to switch to my streaming software for that. That was also another juicy, enjoyable shot to watch on the Rhino. But yeah, I'll have to record using OBS, which is the same software I use for streaming. So I'm gonna have to record with that instead. That way I can use the webcam at the same time because the editing software I use doesn't have that capability, which is unfortunate. But you guys already know what I look like. But let me know. I'll probably put it like I don't know. Probably between my ammo and where it says where I've done damage, like where it says the Rhino. I'll probably put my cam there. It's a basic cam. It's 720p, and it's 30 FPS. So it's fine. It'll work. But yeah. Oh yeah, guys, and this is I make a couple mistakes here. This first one is not backing down, but I could have gone around the right side, shot the Panzer 7 in the rear. So that's a potential 15 plus 100 damage. I didn't count that when I counted in the factors. I only did the shots that I shot, you know, that I could have easily shot, or ones that didn't pen, like you'll see here pretty soon. So the reason I backed off is because I don't want to get proxied. I have no idea where their backtrack could be. I have no idea where the enemy 4005 could be. So I'm just trying to play this as cautiously as possible. And it's a good thing that maybe it's a good thing that I didn't go around the Panzer 7, because as you see there's an enemy 4005 looking right at me, and he misses, thankfully. But yeah, if I was to go around and flank that Panzer 7, that 4005 most likely would have killed me. So looking back at that now, maybe it's a good thing that I hit. Maybe it's a good thing that I was more cautious than I thought I should have been. So yeah, that patience paid off. Yeah, I have allies that can take out these guys. Unfortunately, the Leopard can't quite shoot him. And that 4005 I know can't really hit me from this position very easily. So now I decide to strike and decide to aim at this Lion. And we do finish him off for our, our third kill. And that leads us to almost 6,000 damage already, guys. Like, this tank, when you have allies and stuff that take the shots for you, that distract the enemy, and you can get easy shots on, this tank is just absolutely brutal. And I think that, like, I know that it's not, it's extremely more dangerous than you think it is. Like, if I fought a medium tank, like let's say a 140 versus a FE, I would purposely go for the FE first because of that alpha. One shot from this guy, one shot from this tank, could be a game changer, an absolute game changer. Like, if one of these, like, if I, you know, for example, most of the time I shoot a guy, and if I low roll, he's on like 200-something HP, he's a one-shot now, to where with the 140, if I was to shoot the 140, yes, I'm getting rid of DPM, but there's still someone who could still full health blind shot me, just as I did that T49 right there. You know, he was spotting me. I'm like, okay, that's probably the only bush he could be in. And you know, I was streaming on Discord, and Expert was like, he might be there. I pulled the trigger, it paid off. And yes, that T49 was full health when we killed him. So that's 1,300, I think, blind, if I remember correctly, of the G49's HP. But unfortunately, yeah, I was very pleased of how many shots and how much damage I got this, but I was very frustrated by the simple mistakes I made. So the first mistake I make comes here pretty quickly. That's when we get to the top of the hill here, and that's when this Yag Tiger is spotted. You guys will see that here in a minute. So I don't know how reliably, because I believe the pen on this tank is 230 millimeters of Hesh pen. I'm sorry, and AP is 300, so the AP has no problem going through Yag Tiger. But this Hesh, I have no idea. As you can see, it's green. I could have snapped it there, but I really wanted to be patient. We risked losing the game, and so I wanted to be as careful as I can. I was telling this T54, you know, I'll stay here as long as I don't get spotted. As you can see, this guy's angled, and from that angle, I couldn't pen him. I wanted to try to, you know, it was too late. So that was the first mistake I made. Was I should have pulled the trigger, guys. I should have. And also I probably should have aimed for his upper play as well. That's something that Expert pointed out to me. But I don't know if it still would have penned. I mean, it's a 50-50 because it's orange. So maybe it was worth the risk. I don't know. Maybe I should have intuition to AP. Let me know what you guys think about that. Anyway, so we're gonna wait for the Yak Tiger to poke again, but he's gonna be completely somewhere different. But first, I found there's an enemy E4 that the Leopard PTA found for me. So our light tank does try blind firing. It hits the ground. And this V4 does get E4 does get spotted pretty soon here, and we are gonna take him out for our 5th kill. And yeah, that leads us, you know, 21 damage, not a huge, you know, not much, but it is important to get that gun out of the game, especially since the risks of us losing are still pretty high. We don't lose, just to let you know, spoiler alert. But yeah, this is the mistake I make. I should have been a little more aggressive here. I shouldn't have worried about the waffle too much. Yeah, I should have just... And I make another mistake here too, besides that, is I don't know what happened here, but for some reason, I don't pen the Yag Tiger in his side. I was told that it hit the front of his gun mantle. There we go, he spotted me there, which is why I didn't know that until after the Sixth Sense went off. But, you know, I should have known that. I'm a Death Star with the worst, or Death Barn with the worst camo in Tier 10. So yeah, like, right there, I was told it hit the gun mantle, but, like, that looked like it hit on the side, so I should have aimed a little longer there, probably, And I would have been, so that was also part of the damage potential. So if that penned, I would be close to 9k if you include the blind shot that I hit on the T49 full health. So I would be close to 9k right now if that shot would have penned, because I would have killed him. So that's the first shot. This other shot is obviously, as you can tell, is going to be on the Waffle and the T54 Heavy. And you guys will see that mistake later on towards near the end of this battle. And yeah, I was very frustrated with myself after this. And you know, I threw a really high damage game, so I let my emotions get the best of me when I panicked when I spot the T54. So there we go. He's going at it. He's just gunning it, and gonna get behind him and finish him off here pretty quickly. But yeah, I do like the turret reverse on this. It isn't bad. I do like that. So now I'm spotted. I'm just gonna aim the shot as long as I possibly can until I believe that's gonna hit. There we go. Killed him. And now that leaves us to over 8,000 damage so far, guys. So we have, with that blind shot, with that T49, I have beaten my damage record. And yeah, so if you take the Waffle's hit points, which is 1,600, right? So I'm at 8,300. So if you add that together, that would be actually 10,000 damage. And then if we add the T54 Heavy, which is 1,000 something, that would be over 11,000 damage. Which means I could have had a possible 11k game and got over double digits in damage. But here's my mistake. My first mistake is not going around further where the T54 is. Okay, that was my first mistake, because the Waffle, he's going to be able to farm me from F2, F3, which I didn't think about. And I was hesitant to do that because Expert was telling me, go, 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 get him, get him, get him. And I wasn't sure, but I trusted him. It wasn't his fault, and it was my fault because I should have known better. But this is my fault. This next shot here that you guys are about to see, this is my fault. So the T54 does move, and there's the guy. There's the T54, and yeah, look at this, guys. Out of all, it drops. You see that right there, guys? That just, oh, that is so painful to watch. And now this Waffle, he's gonna sit in those back bushes right there, and he's gonna farm me. And I'm screaming at my platoon mate, go, 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 go! You know, go kill the Waffle. And for me, it is too late, guys. Yeah. I think what I could have done, actually, is I could have, if I aimed that shot properly on the T-54 Heavy, I would have been able to kill him, and I would have been able to drop down behind those rocks, behind those hills, and take cover from the Waffle. That would have then allowed me to flank back up north and go kill the Waffle, and then I would have had 11k. You know, that's assuming that no one else, you know, took my damage, like my platoon mate. Oh my gosh, I can't speak. But yes, or, you know, the T-54 for that matter. So yes, I was very, very frustrated with myself. I was screaming at chat. Thankfully, though, Dratz is going to avenge me, and he's going to bully this Waffle for me. And, yeah, he's going to have a little bit of fun with him. So, yeah, big mistake on my part, guys, and that made me so mad. You know, I honestly thought we were going to lose this game after that, because our guy was a one-shot, and my platoon mate would have to fight 2 tanks on his own, which is a little hard to do in a Foch. But, you know, he still probably could have won, but with an autoloader like that, with a big mag, it's iffy. But yeah, so my platoon mate's just going to cap, and my light tank is going to come help him as well, just to finish off the game. So yeah, I was furious, guys. I could have had 11,000 damage this game, and I completely blew it. You know, if I was to pen that Yak Tiger from the beginning, it would have led me closer to 12k. Actually, no, it would have been over 12k. It would have been between 12 and 13,000. So yeah, the maximum potential of this game was 13k, and I blew it. But yeah, it's still my highest damage battle, so I was still satisfied with it. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Yeah, I did get unfortunate with hitting the bottom of the track there on the T-54, but again, that was also my fault. I didn't aim. I didn't reduce RNG. But yeah, like I said, patience pays off, because if you don't use it, then, you know, stuff at the end like this happens. You can't get the snapshots. Like if I aim for like a second, I can't, and I point my mouse up really quickly and move it back down. It'll actually kind of help guide the shell to be straight rather than it curving side to side. That's a trick I learned a long time ago. But yeah, just let me know what you guys think. Thank you for watching, and I will.